What's good, everybody? I'm back. This time, this is WWE RAW, a review of what happened tonight. Let me get down to it, man. This is the after show for Great Balls of Fire. We getting into it. Um, Let me just say this: Great Balls of Fire was a pretty good pay-per-view. All the people I wanted to win won the match. They all won, except for my boy Samoa Joe. I felt like Joe should have won that shit, man. Joe, I've been saying this shit on Twitter and everything. Joe should have won, man. How can you not give Joe the strap? Brock Lesnar is my dude. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Don't get me wrong. But I felt like this was Samoa Joe's time, man. Samoa Joe should have won that shit. He should have won. Point blank, period. I felt like Joe got robbed. That's, I mean, Brock Lesnar is part time. He's part time. Like you should have gave it to Joe, man. They botched that one, man. But they got time to fix it though. Joe should have won. But anyway, we get started with Raw, man. Big Cass opened up the show. I was not expecting Cass to actually open the show. He's proud of his win last night. I'm proud of him. I think, Enzo Amore, let me tell you something. His mic skills are definitely good. you know, the late great Dusty Rhodes even said that about Enzo back, a couple of years ago. He was like, man, Enzo is definitely good on the mic. He's gonna make you some money probably as a manager or something like that. He definitely should be managing people. His in ring ability could use some work. I feel like his in ring ability definitely could use some work, but his mic skills are dope. I just feel like Enzo is annoying. To me, he's annoying as fuck. I'm sorry, but Enzo is just all that. How you doing? All that. Like, come on, bruh. That's too extra. Like, it's extra. But I'm happy for Big Cass, man. He showed up and showed out last night at Great Balls of Fire. He beat Enzo ass like I expected him to. I knew he would. If you was on my Twitter last night, then you know. You can follow me on Twitter. I'll leave the link below where you can follow me. Twitter, Instagram, you can follow me on all those. I'll leave them in the description box below. Um, so Big Cass was proud, man. He happy until he got interrupted by the Big Show. That I was not expecting. I wasn't expecting Big Show to come out there. But Big Show came out there and immediately they got into it. Big Cass, let me tell you something, bro. He was not backing down. He might got the short end of the stick on that fight tonight, but he ain't back down. He walked up on Big Show like he's short. He walked up on Big Show like, yeah, you feeling froggy? Jump. That's how he walked up on him. Like Big Cass wasn't scared, man. I was like, bruh, Big Cass, yo, he got my endorsement, man. Let me tell you something. I've been watching WWE. I've been watching wrestling since 1997. 20 years I've been watching wrestling, man, when it was in the Attitude Era. And let me tell you something, man. I watched that. I watched DCW. I watched WCW. Yo, Big Cass, he's a good one, man. I feel like with Big Cass, they need to give Cass a mid card start. I wouldn't throw him after this Big Show feud. I wouldn't throw him into the main event scene. Not so quickly. I would not. I feel like you got to groom him a little more. Let him be upper mid card. Let him fight the Miz or Dean Ambrose for the strap. Let him get the Intercontinental title. Let him run with that for a while. Work on his more on his skills and shit. I think his skills are dope, but you can always improve. Um, Let him do that. I wouldn't throw him in main event scene so quickly, and I feel like that's what they do with some people. They throw him in there too fast or at the wrong time. Let him run with that Intercontinental belt, see what he can do. But I'm definitely looking forward to this feud with him and Big Show because these two dudes are beasts. They're two big ass monsters going head to head. Like, bruh, you don't get no better than that, bruh. You really don't. You don't get no better than that. Really don't, man. So I'm definitely looking forward to Big Cass and Big Show locking up and doing what it do. I can't wait to see it. So yeah, so after that segment, we get to the first match of the night. Finn Balor versus Elias Sampson. So I'm not big on Elias Sampson. Like I'm really not. Like I'm not that big on him. I think he could do well as a mid card guy, definitely. The match was definitely back and forth, good, pound for pound match. They was giving each other, everything but the kitchen sink. They was whooping each other ass. Elias Sampson was going for Finn Balor's shoulder. I noticed that. He was definitely going for that shoulder, trying to weaken up that shoulder. And I was like, yo, that's a good strategy. In the wrestling business, you gotta go for them body parts, B. That's the only way you're gonna do it. You gotta go for them body parts. Fuck with their body parts, you fucking up everything on them. They can't come back on you. You fuck with his shoulder and stuff like that, and you should have target them legs too, because then it'll be hard for him to hit that coup de grace. You know what I'm saying? Like he go up on that top rope, it's gonna be hard for him to get that leverage and keep it. His arms gonna be hurting, legs gonna be. You gotta go for that. Like you gotta chop him down. You gotta go for that. But I think it was definitely a dope match. Good back and forth action. It was definitely plenty of that. I'm waiting for Finn Balor to get back into that Universal title picture again, though. Most definitely, I'm waiting for that, bruh. We got to get Finn Balor back in that main event spot. I mean, he can go up against these little dudes for now, but man, he got to go up against some heavy hitters, man. We got to get him back in there. When he came back, he was going up against Roman Reigns and all them. But Elias Sampson, man, he ain't nothing to sleep on. He's nobody to sleep on. But I want Finn Balor back in that main event spot, man. He need to be going for that Universal. That's what he need to be going for, and I think that's where he needs to be. Because mind you, he never really lost that belt when he first won it. I believe when he won it last year at SummerSlam, he never lost the belt. He got injured, so I feel like he definitely is deserving of another title shot, most definitely. But that was a good match, man. Finn Balor hit that coup de grace on Elias Sampson. He won the match, 1, 2, 3. It was one and done. Because once he hit that coup de grace, your mama ain't getting up from that. He hit that shit so hard, your mama felt that kick. Like, seriously. Finn Balor is one of my favorites, man. He's one of my favorite newbies, man. He's been in the game a little while, but, he's one of my favorites. I call him a newbie because he's still a little green, even though he is, a former world champion, but still. He ain't been in the game that long. But he's definitely one of my faves, man. So anyway, after he won that match, the Hardys come out. They cut a little quick promo about, how they not going nowhere. They're far from done. And of course, Gallows and Anderson has to come out. So we get an impromptu tag team match. We get Gallows and Anderson versus Team Extreme, aka the Hardys. Let me tell you something, man. I love the fact that the Hardys are back because it's nostalgic. Of course, shit, I got the WWE Network. I stay going back watching Raw and SmackDown from 2000, 2001. You know what I'm saying? Like when they was with Lita and stuff like that. Um, Real quick, speaking of Lita, I feel like Matt Hardy needs to shut his wife up, Reby Hardy. She be on Twitter going hard. She recently tweeted something calling Lita a hoe. I'm like, yo, Reby, man, she's bad for business, baby. She bad for business. That's all I got to say. She's bad business. I'm just saying. Matt, shut her up. Turn off her Twitter, please. Because Vince McMahon don't play that shit. He don't like that bad publicity and all that. So shut her the hell up, please. Anyway, yeah, it's good to have the Hardys back for nostalgia because you know what? They won the Raw Tag Team titles when they came back and they lost them. And I feel like that's cool. But now I feel like their purpose right now is to get over the younger talent, the younger tag teams and stuff like that. Let them get over. Because mind you, they lost last night at Great Balls of Fire. That was one hell of an Iron Man match with Cesaro and Sheamus and the Hardys. A 30-man Iron Man match. It was blood. It was sweat. It was tears, man. I was getting nervous for a minute because I thought the Hardys was gonna tie it up at the last inning. I thought they was gonna win that motherfucker. I was like, come on, Sheamus, come on, Cesaro, and they pulled it out. They pulled out the victory. So congrats to them. But in this match, Gallows and Anderson, man, it was good back and forth action in this match. Really good back and forth. Um, it was a lot of tagging in and out. Gallows and Anderson was sharp, but in the end, of course, the Hardys suffered a second loss in 2 nights straight. They suffered two back-to-back losses. They lost to Gallows and Anderson tonight. Um, Jeff Hardy tried to break it up, but he was too late. He couldn't get to the pin in time, so he lost. The team lost. And right after that match, guess who came back? The motherfucking Revival. The Revival came back and they ran in that ring and whooped Matt Hardy and them ass. They beat Matt and Jeff ass. Mind you, Matt and Jeff just got done with a grueling match. They're still injured from Great Balls of Fire last night. So now they get another ass whooping from the Revival. I'm like, damn, all these tag teams just coming for Matt and Jeff right now. And I don't blame them because the young guys, they see them as comp. You can't be in the wrestling business or in WWE and be in a company with the Hardys and you're a tag team and you don't see them as a danger to you potentially being the champion or your championship reign, you gotta take them out. Cause if you don't, you gotta send a message, man. You gotta let them old heads know we the youngins, we here. You know what I mean? You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. So they whoop their ass, man. They let the Hardys know, man, we back. The revival is back. But that was a pretty dope match. So we go to break, they come back. Now it's time for my boy, still Intercontinental Champion, the motherfucking Miz, and the Miz Taraj. And the Miz, what do you call them niggas? The Miz Taraj, the Miz Taraj, whatever. Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel. I like them all together as a group, but I feel like they WWE is misusing Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel, man, he was on fire, man, when he first came in. He was a Paul Heyman guy and stuff like that. Man, he was on fire. He was on fire. I could definitely see Curtis Axel as a main event guy. I can see that potential in him. I just felt like they didn't tap into that and they let it fall by the wayside. That was bad creative writing. That was bad creative booking. So the Miz comes out and he's given his first ever Mizzy Award. So it's time for the Mizzy Award. Um, Everybody in his crew won an award, including his beautiful wife, Maurice. I love Maurice. Fucking gorgeous. Maurice is fucking gorgeous, man. She is drop dead gorgeous. Miz is a lucky motherfucker. He's a lucky bastard. He got Maurice. Bruh. I would let that woman talk French to me all night long. Seriously. I mean, my mouth was just watering. I was drooling when she came out. Drooling. So of course they get, he start talking shit about Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Then of course Dean Ambrose comes out. They get into a fight. It's a 3-on-1 situation. Seth fucking Rollins come out there. It's a 3-on-2, but they clean house. They knock the Miz out the ring. The Miz and his crew had to retreat. I said, come on, y'all ain't have to do my boy Miz like that. Come on now, that's my guy. You ain't gotta do Miz like that. But Miz gonna get their ass back. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get him. I'm not that big of a fan of Dean Ambrose, to be perfectly honest with you. He's all right, but I don't know. It's something about him that annoys the fuck out of me. I don't know what it is about Dean Ambrose, but I can't put my finger on it. But it's like something about that cat, man. He just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know. I really don't. Um, so now we get a tag team match, a diva tag team match. Sasha Banks, Bailey versus Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss, the reigning, the defending Raw Women Champion. Let me tell you something right now. Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, my favorite divas, my top 5 divas. They're my favorite, probably top 10. They're my favorite, but Nia Jax definitely is number one. Nia Jax is a beast. Let me tell you something about Nia Jax. She's like the female version of Mark Henry. I love Nia Jax. Love her. Every time Nia Jax get in that ring with anybody, she gonna beat your ass. She rarely takes an ass whooping. Nia Jax got that power. Like she's huge. But I love this tag team match though. I fucking loved it because you know what? It was good old fashioned tag team mythology. It was good old fashioned tag team wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a thinking match. You know what I'm saying? It was like playing a game of chess. And Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss played that shit well. They played that match well. I love the way they did it. My thing about what I was tweeting and saying during the match was the best way, the best route for Sasha Banks and Bailey to go would be to take out the legs of Nia Jax. And Bailey was doing that. She was kicking her legs because you gotta, you know, get her legs all fucked up and stuff because you take away that mobility, especially when you're small and you're going up against a bigger person. You gotta get her down. I said this shit. I was like, yeah, when you going up against a big person, you gotta get them down. It reminded me of Crash Holly and Viscera. If you're a wrestling fan, you know they had their battles back on SmackDown and Raw back in like 2000 and stuff like that. So, you know, Crash Holly used to kick Viscera in the knee, get him down to one knee. Because once you get the big person down, keep them down. Jump off the top rope if you got to. Do whatever you got to do to keep them down. Because once they get back up, it's all she wrote for your ass. Because they got that strength. They push your ass off of them. I seen Big Show and them do it a million times. But and I was saying like Bailey and Sasha Banks, they got that speed. You know what I'm saying? That speed is on their side because you're dealing with a big girl in Nia Jax. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to use your speed. That's your ally in this match. You know what I'm saying? But I love the way Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss handled this match because they isolated Bailey from her partner. I don't think Sasha Banks was in this match at all. Like she got knocked off the apron the first time Alexa Bliss missed her, and that was the cause of distraction. So that way Nia Jax could squash Bailey while the ref back was turned. That was smart. I'm telling you, that was like a chess move. It was old school thinking. You know what I'm saying? Good old fashioned tag team match. Then like they isolated her from her partner. They were wearing Bailey down. That's tag team 101. You have to do that. Isolate your opponent from her partner. So that way you get the upper hand. You ain't got to worry about getting a fresher person in because once the fresh person come in, Sasha Banks, it's a wrap. She gonna be a Hellcat. She gonna be swinging, knocking y'all asses down, knocking y'all out. So it was smart of them to keep her ass out the ring. Do what you gotta do. Make sure the tag don't go down. But in the end, um, Sasha Banks and Bailey won it. Bailey got the roll up on Alexa Bliss. She pinned the Raw champion. So you know what that means. She might be in line for a title shot, man. She might be in line. So anyway, we get this backstage vignette of Goldust. Goldust is one of my all-time favorites, man. That guy's a fucking freak. I remember when he used to come out in the 90s with his gold shit on, he used to lick the rope. I said, Goldust is a fucking freak. Goldust is crazy. Like, seriously, I would never forget Raw 2006, that exchange he had with Shelton Benjamin's mother, Mama Benjamin. That was some funny shit. That shit was funny. But anyway, it's time for Goldust versus R-Truth. I keep forgetting Goldust and R-Truth still beefing. Like, damn, this shit been going on for months. Like, they still battling? It feel like forever this shit been going on. So, R-Truth come out singing What's Up. Corey Graves had me dying. Corey Graves is funny as fuck on commentary. I don't know if y'all know that, but he's hilarious. He was like, R-Truth been singing his own theme song for 10 years, and he feel like he still forget his lyrics. I was like, yo, it's so true, man. R-Truth keeps saying, what's up? All I keep saying is shut up. Like, seriously, I don't want to hear this shit. But it was a good match, man. Good back and forth match. The match was definitely, it was a dope match, man. That was a pretty cool match. Goldust been in the game for over 20 years and he could still go. He can still go. 20 years, he could still wrestle with the best of them. He can still fight. He can still move. He can still do this. You're like, he was just kicking ass. And in the end, Goldust prevailed and won the match. Goldust is the shit, man. Goldust, he serves it up, man. To be like 40, I think Goldust is almost 50, man. He could still go in the ring like that. I'm happy for Goldust. I've always been a fan of Goldust. He's a freak. He's crazy, but I've always been a fan, man. It's that nostalgia, like it's that '90s memorabilia with Goldust, like that. I like. You know what I mean? Reminds me of the '90s. I like it. So now it's time for the boy Kurt Angle, Raw General Manager, come out. He gives a quick update on Braun Strowman. He says, he don't know when Braun coming back. Braun Strowman is my dude, yo. Braun is one of my favorite wrestlers right now on the active roster. He's one of my fucking favorites. I was cheering Braun on last night when he was whooping Roman ass. I was like, yes. Braun, give him that fucking title shot. Give it to him, man. Braun got it, man. So Kurt come out, he talk about Braun. He said he don't know when he coming back. He introduces the Universal Champ, Brock Lesnar, and my boy Paul Heyman. Paul skipped his happy ass out that curtain. Paul was skipping. I had to freeze frame that shit. Paul was skipping out that curtain. So they talking or whatever about so they're talking about their match in '03. I believe it was WrestleMania 19, Kurt Angle versus Brock for the WWE title. They was talking about that and stuff, and he was, basically complimenting Brock on how better he's been getting over the years and stuff like that. And Paul Heyman had to interrupt him like, "Yo, we're not here to talk and brainstorm about SummerSlam. Like, if you ain't got nothing else to talk about, we're out." So that's when Roman Reigns come out. Roman Reigns come out there demanding basically a title shot at SummerSlam with Brock Lesnar. My whole thing about Roman is, dude, you got your ass beat by Braun last night. You lost your match last night. What makes you think you're a number one contender when you lost? And for the last couple months, you've been getting your ass beat by Braun. So how do you declare yourself number one contender? And he keeps bringing up the fact, oh, I beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. So what? That was months ago. That doesn't guarantee you a title shot. Maybe if you would have cashed those chips in months ago, didn't he already get a title shot? And you lost. So how the hell do you declare yourself a number one contender? You have to earn that shit. It ain't gonna be given to you. So of course my dog Samoa Joe come out. Samoa not having that shit. Joe not having it. Joe was like, yo, I want my rematch against Brock. Cause he said one way or another, sooner or later, I'm gonna choke your ass out. I was like, get him. So they about to come to blows and shit. And him and Roman exchanging words. Kurt Angle come up with the idea that next week on Raw, we gonna see Roman Reigns versus Joe. The winner gets Brock at SummerSlam for the title. Here's how I would have did this. I would have made it a fatal four way at SummerSlam. Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman for the Universal title. Come on now, you can't tell me you wouldn't pay to go to SummerSlam to see that match. Four of them in the ring at the same time, they would tear that fucking building up. I felt like that was the right call to make, but Kurt made the call that he made. Singles match, number one contender. He told them if they fight right then and there, the match is off. And he told them, is it, the fans was like, fight, fight, fight. I would have been saying the same shit, but he told them, he was like, is it really worth you losing out on a title shot? So anyway, they leave. Kurt Angle, I guess Corey Graves gets this text message, some anonymous text message, mystery text or whatever. He go backstage to tell Kurt about it. I don't know what the hell going on with that. So anyway, we got a cruiserweight tag team match. We got Tazawa, however you pronounce his name. Him and Cedric Alexander versus Noam Dar and Neville. Here's what I think of the cruiserweight division. I think it sucks. The reason I think it sucks, it's not even the wrestlers. I think they have dope cruiserweights, talented. The reason I think it sucks is because WWE is not putting any importance on it. That's why I think it sucks. Because WWE is not making it important. You know what I mean? Like every pay per view, the cruiserweight match is on the kickoff show. Why? If you want people to care about the cruiserweight division, put it on the main stage. That's why Austin Aries was kind of pissed off, and I'm mad that they let Austin go. I felt like that was a dumb move, but they let him go or whatever. Austin wasn't really happy backstage anyway because at WrestleMania, he was mad because his match at WrestleMania was on the kickoff show. Two, his match wasn't even on the WrestleMania DVD, and he missed out on royalties because of that. So I would be pretty pissed too. But I feel like if WWE, I feel like they need to make the cruiserweight division like it was back in '02 with Rey Mysterio and all them. Make it how it was then. Get rid of the purple ropes and all that purple and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, and make it seem important so that way the fans can get into it. Why have the cruiserweight division if you're not going to make it important? Or, if you're not making it important, the fans are going to think it's not important. So, Cedric Alexander and Tazawa, whatever. They won the match. It was a good back and forth cruiserweight match. It was a lot of high flying, a lot of action. They won the match in the end. So, I'm happy for that. Um Now we get to the nitty gritty. We get to Bo Dallas. I mean not Bo Dallas, excuse me. Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt, the main event. I love this main event. This main event was the best match. Like it definitely was a great rematch from Great Balls of Fire. Um, I was happy that Bray Wyatt won at Great Balls of Fire because I felt like Bray finally won a fucking match. Like I felt like they've been making Bray look like a jobber for a while, and I was actually shocked at WrestleMania when he won the WWE title. I was shocked by that. I mean, they need to stop making Bray look like weak and look like a jobber. Like he's much more than that. Bray has the potential to be a top guy if they give him that opportunity. And he proved it in this match with Seth Rollins. Like him and Seth went the distance in this match. Him and Seth was beating the hell out of each other. Seth, his eye was all fucked up or whatever during the match. It was a good back and forth pace match. They was, pinfall, kick out. It was like good old JR would say, it was a slobber knocker. It definitely was. Like it was one hell of a match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And you know, Bray headbutted Seth Rollins in that injured eye, and he nailed Sister Abigail on him. Caught him in Sister Abigail. 1, 2, 3. Bray got a second victory on 2 nights in a row. He beat Seth Rollins. That's big, man. That's big. Beat Seth Rollins 2 nights in a row at the pay per view and the next night on Raw. That solidifies you right there. You know what I'm saying? Like Bray definitely can, be a top guy, and they need to keep the belt on him longer. Like hopefully he get a Universal title shot too, maybe after SummerSlam. Cause I definitely think he can handle being a top guy on Raw. Um, so after that match and Bray disappeared, Miz and the Miz Taraj came back out and they beat up on Seth Rollins. And that's when punk ass Dean Ambrose came out with a steel chair. He beat the hell out. He beat the shit out of the Miz with the steel chair. I said, "Come on, bruh. You ain't gotta hit on my boy like that with the steel chair." Good thing they pulled him out the ring. I said, "Damn, man, he's a violent motherfucker." Um. Oh, another thing I want to point out during that conversation, Roman Reigns said that, because Kurt Angle said Roman went too far when he crashed the ambulance at Great Balls of Fire with Braun in the back. And Roman was like, you got Paul Heyman, the father of Extreme, of hardcore, and you got Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar. All of them did a lot of crazy shit during the Attitude Era. First of all, Kurt Angle was around during the Attitude Era. Paul Heyman was running ECW during that time. Brock Lesnar didn't come in until Ruthless Aggression in '02. So he wasn't even a part of the Attitude. So Roman, if you're gonna tell a story, tell it right. It was not the Attitude Era. Kurt was the Attitude Era, and I have to agree with Kurt. It's a different time. This is PG, kid friendly. So anyway, Kurt is still obsessing over whatever storyline he got going on with Corey Graves. He's on the phone with somebody talking about they're gonna go public next week on Raw. He told the person he loved them or whatever. I don't know who the hell he was talking to. But I'm anxious to see who he was talking about. Could it be Stephanie McMahon? I doubt it. Triple H will whoop his ass. But anyway, this was a good episode of Raw, man. I think Raw need to go back to 2 hours. Honestly, I think they do. I think it would benefit them better if they went to 2 hours. I'm just saying. 3 hours is a lot to sit through. And most of it is just promos and rehashing what people already seen from either a pay-per-view or last week. So you're just wasting time with that. But anyway, it was a pretty good show tonight, man. I hope y'all enjoy. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that comment button. I'll see y'all later, man. Have a good night. See y'all later. Peace.